Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Eye with your host, The Eye. Welcome back, patriots, to a special extension of our JFK Assassination series here on The Eye. I'm your host, The Eye, ever watchful over the narratives that shape our understanding of history and power. We've dissected the CIA tensions, Oswald's mysteries, grassy knoll echoes, Warren's flawed inquiry, mafia and human entanglements, and the enduring cover-up legacy. But today, in this deep dive, we're exploring an alternative angle that's long simmered in conservative circles. The shadow cast by Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson himself. This isn't the mainstream lone gunman tale, or even the more accepted deep state threads. It's a theory about LBJ as a potential architect or beneficiary of the plot, driven by ambition, scandal, and Texas-sized grudges. We'll keep it grounded, sifting through declassified hints and historical whispers without veering into pure fiction. As always, this is about questioning the official line to empower good Americans. Let's set the stage. By 1963, JFK's Camelot was cracking. Kennedy had humiliated LBJ by sidelining him after the 1960 election, reducing the powerful Senate Majority Leader to a ceremonial Veep. Johnson, a master of backroom deals with roots in Texas oil and politics, chafed under the Kennedy brothers' northeastern elitism. RFK, as Attorney General, was running for Johnson's allies like corrupt Texas figures tied to scandals such as Billy Sol Estes affair, where LBJ was implicated in agricultural fraud and kickbacks. Declassified FBI memos from 2025 Trump releases hint at Johnson's mounting desperation. One notes his fear of being dropped from the 1964 ticket amid these probes. To conservatives skeptical of unchecked power, this paints LBJ as a man with everything to lose and the presidency to gain. The theory gained traction through books like Roger Stone's The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ, and Philip F. Nelson's LBJ, the mastermind of the JFK assassination. Proponents argue Johnson had the motive, means, and opportunity. Motive, beyond personal sights, JFK's push for civil rights threatened Southern Democrats like LBJ's base, and his tentative Vietnam drawdown irked military hawks Johnson later embraced. The means, LBJ's Texas connections allegedly linked him to elements in Dallas law enforcement, oil barons like Clint Murchison, and even the CIA through figures like Allen Dulles, whom JFK fired after the Bay of Pigs, who conveniently joined the Warren Commission. Opportunity. The motorcade route through Dealey Plaza was altered at the last minute, routing it past the Texas School Book Depository and right under Oswald's alleged sniper nest. Eyewitness accounts add fuel. Madeline Duncan Brown, LBJ's alleged mistress, claimed in interviews and her book, Texas in the Morning, that Johnson confided to her the night before the assassination. After tomorrow, those goddamn Kennedys will never embarrass me again. That's no threat, that's a promise. While skeptics dismiss her as unreliable, conservatives point to her consistency over decades and ties to Texas power players. Then there's the infamous wink photo. As LBJ was sworn in aboard Air Force One, Congressman Albert Thomas appears to wink at him while Johnson smirks, interpreted by some as a signal of mission accomplished. Dallas connections run deep in this angle. Jack Ruby, Oswald's killer, had ties to Texas mobsters and indirectly to Johnson's world through nightclub dealings. E. Howard Hunt, the Watergate burglar and ex-CIA operative, allegedly confessed on his deathbed, in a recording released by his son, that LBJ was at the top of a conspiracy involving CIA agents like Cord Meyer and anti-Castro Cubans. Hunt claimed the plot stemmed from JFK's Bay of Pigs betrayal and RFK's mob crackdowns, echoing our earlier episodes, but centering LBJ as the domestic puppet master pulling strings for mutual benefit. The Warren Commission's makeup raises eyebrows here too. LBJ handpicked the panel, including Dulles, the very CIA director JFK ousted. Critics argue this stacked the deck against probing Johnson's orbit. The 1979 House Select Committee danced around LBJ theories, focusing instead on acoustic evidence and probable conspiracy without naming names. But declassified files, including those from the 1992 Assassination Records Collection Act and Trump's 2017 to 25 pushes, reveal FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover's quick pivot to the lone gunman narrative, possibly to protect his own alliances with Johnson. Hoover, despised the Kennedys, reportedly told LBJ within hours of the shooting that Oswald acted alone, quashing early leads on multiple shooters or conspirators. Conservatives often frame this angle as a cautionary tale of power corruption. If a vice president could orchestrate, or at least enable such a coup, what does that say about the fragility of our republic? It ties into broader distrust of the establishment, from Watergate, where LBJ's protege Nixon fell, to modern deep state suspicions. Polls today show over 60% of Americans still believe in some conspiracy, with right-leaning respondents more likely to point fingers at the internal political machines over foreign plots. This theory resonates because it humanizes the evil, not faceless agencies, but a flawed man grasping for the throne. Of course, mainstream historians debunk much of this. The HSCA found no credible evidence against LBJ, and Brown's claims lack corroboration. The motorcade route was planned weeks in advance for logistical reasons, not malice. Hunt's confession is hearsay, dismissed by some as a hoax. Yet the alternate angle persists because the official story leaves gaps. Why the rushed autopsy at Bethesda under military control? Why seal records for decades? Trump's final 2025 declassifications added memos on LBJ's pre-assassination anxieties, but stopped short of bombshells. Fueled whispers that the full truth remains buried to protect legacies. In the end, the LBJ-centric view isn't about proving guilt. It's about highlighting how ambition and secrecy erode trust. It warns patriots that threats to freedom can come from within the halls of power, not just shadowy cabals. As we wrap this alternate exploration, remember, history isn't settled by commissions. It's questioned by vigilant citizens. Thank you for joining the Eye on this journey through JFK's shadows. Stay alert, demand transparency, and never stop seeking the truth. Until our next series, God bless you and God bless the United States.